sorry, it's very hot. Basically, Isabela, can you tell me more about yourself? Where do
Yes.
you come from? Where did you study? What are you doing in life? What are your hobbies, etc.?
Yeah. So my name is Isabela Delgado. I'm 25 years old, and I'm from Peru, from Lima, Peru. I studied business administration as an undergrad in the University of Lima. And what I found out that I wanted to actually study was something related to the environment. But I realized it after I finished the business administration. So I wanted to mix both worlds, and that's why I to study the master's that I'm pursuing.
So it's a master in environmental management, huh? Is it that?
Yeah.
Master in environmental management. Do you think that for someone who wants to work in environmental in the environmental field like you, is it the best master to complete, or why not a general management master? Why a specific master? What is so specific about this master?
Well, this master will be more specific towards environmental science a little bit. So it does have the science part of it, so we can understand what needs to be done, like what is more important, and the different problems that big companies are experiencing right now in the environment world. So after I studied business administration, I felt like I had a good sense of everything business and management, and all of that. But I needed more insight on the environment world because we didn't get any environmental training at all in university. So I wanted to know a little bit more about corporate responsibility and more about the environment side of companies.
Okay. And what has been how familiar are you with Duke? Have you already visited them? Took to the outcome? Talk to students? Tell me.
With
How familiar are you with the Duke MEM program? What have you done to be more familiar with them?
what have I done to be more?
More familiar.
So I got a job at an eco lodge in a city in Peru, and they had like a lot of environmentally friendly practices. And that's how I got into the environment world more, like, and I could learn a lot about like renewable energy, waste management a little bit. So that's how I got first introduced to it, and that's why I wanted to focus on this.
Okay, but what I want to ask you, Isabela, and what have been your contacts so far with Duke? I imagine so. You wrote an application, you had an interview, but what have been your contact now with Duke since in the last 6 months or in the last 12 months?
Oh, my contact with Duke. Yeah. So it has been a lot of contact because there's a lot of like paperwork, a lot of administrative things that need to be sorted out before I go. But the first contact, of course, was me applying there. That was the first contact. And after that, the journey of admission, it's been pretty long because I started it last year in, I want to say, September. And that's when I first started, and I kind of first asked questions to them about how much I needed to be involved with the science part of the environment to apply to this type of master. Because I was worried, coming from a business background that didn't have much to do with the environment, I would not get in and I would not be considered. But yeah, they were very, very helpful. They answered all my questions very fast. And now all the contact that we're having, it's more about like the visa, the process, or the insurance, all about the paperwork that needs to be filled out before I go there. But yeah, I found out about them because I was looking for this specific program and not a lot of universities have the program. So I kind of like had limited options to apply.
Okay, so that's the thing. So tell me, have you applied to other master in environmental management, or Duke was the only one? Which other masters have you applied?
Yeah, I applied to 3 universities because, as I said, it was a kind of a rare program that was combining business with environment, and it wasn't just science. So I found 3 good universities, which was the University of Denver, the Duke University, and Yale University.
And the
So
other one was there was Duke, University of Denver, Yale, and the fourth one was which one, Isabella? The last one was which one?
I applied later to Lund University, which was a Swedish
Lund,
university.
yeah, Lund in Sweden. Okay,
Yes,
so yes, it's a very strong cultural center in Sweden, Lund University. Okay, it's very rare. Okay, and what has been the outcome? You have been accepted to all of them, to Duke, Denver as well. Okay.
I got admitted to Denver, Duke, and Lund, but not Yale, unfortunately. Yeah, I got admitted to 3, but
okay, this is very good. Right. Congratulations. And so, what was the process? Did you have to take the GMAT for this test or a language test? What is the process to be accepted to this test, to this school? Tell me.
So, but fortunately, I didn't have to do a standardized test. The specific program does not ask for a standardized test, but they did ask for like prerequisite courses that I had taken in university, like statistics, calculus, business, microeconomics, which I had taken, fortunately. So I had that background. Then they did ask for the TOEFL, of course, because the courses will be in English. And I did that as well. Then they asked for a lot of essays, like 1 essay each, which each of one had different. Then 3 letters of recommendation minimum. And then I had, of course, to improve my resume and make it more appealing to these universities. So that was the process, was getting everything together and all the paperwork and completing, redacting all of that.
Okay. So it's a thing. So you had to write essays, resume, reference letters. Did you have an interview, Isabella, or not? Did you have an interview?
I only had an English interview.
Okay.
They only asked for it, just to measure the English, and then it was like a 15-minute interview asking about why did I want to study that, just to measure our English.
Okay. So what do you expect to experience? What will you leave there? I guess it's a 1-year program. So what do you expect to experience in America during this 1 year in America?
It would be a 2-year program.
Okay.
So, well, I expect to learn a lot. I am pretty new in this field, so I would like to learn everything I can. And then also, I do know a little bit about the culture because I've lived in the US a couple of times for short periods of times. So I know a little bit about the culture, but I know that this town is in the South. So I know that it's a different type of culture that I have not experienced. So I would like to learn about it and immerse myself in the culture, but also academic wise. I would like to learn a lot and maybe get an internship, get experience on the job, on how this job will be and what I will actually do, because until now it's all theoretical. But I would like to know how, in the real world, how the environment mixes with the business world. So I'm really excited and looking forward to know and learn more about that, the real world. And I know we have a big project on the 2nd year, which we go and work with a company that has an alliance with Duke, and they take master's degree students. to come work in a specific project related to the environment. So yeah, I'm excited about that, to learn more about that.
Okay. What are your post MEM career goals, Isabela?
My first, sorry, what? My first.
What are your career goals? What do you want to achieve post MEM? After the masters, what do you want to achieve? What do you see yourself growing professionally, short term, mid term, long term? What do you want to do?
So long term, after the masters, I would like to get a job, like an entry level job. I understand, like, just going out of studying, you're an entry level worker, and maybe I like to work either in a nonprofit that's related to the environment and does environmental work, or in either a big company that has responsibility, social environmental responsibility area specifically, and I like to like go in there and learn everything I can from a big company and how they operate and how they deal with their environmental side. And then midterm, if I stay in this big company, private company, I would like to keep climbing and keep learning and keep making my way in the same company. Be in charge of a big project that is applied on this company regarding the environment. And eventually, long term, I like to have some sort of impact in this company and actually shift, if there is anything to shift, shift the focus or the importance that we give to the environmental side, and make it bigger, make it better. It would depend, because this is all theoretical, so it would depend on the sector and the type of company and the type of politics that they already have in this company. But if there is, and which there's usually a lot of opportunities to grow and improve, I would like to attack those and just improve on the environmental side and try to, more related to the either waste management or energy use, and either the two of those. Yeah. So, for example, in a clothing company, it's known that a lot of those have a lot of waste that it's not recyclable. It just goes to a landfill. So in those cases, I would like to, make a big project and apply it and turn it from a dream to reality.
Okay, very good. What else can I say? So, what do you expect to experience during these 2 years in America, personally, professionally, academically?
Well, I would like the masters to teach me a lot. I've been living in Lima my whole life. I've had the privilege to travel a little bit, but this will be the first time that I'm going to move by myself. So personally, that would be a big challenge, and I'm looking forward to it, and I'm expecting that it will be hard, but it will be good, and it's kind of like what you need to grow up. And then academically, well, as I said, I have a lot to learn, and I know that Duke has a lot of great teachers and people that have a lot of experience and know about the environmental field and have a lot of knowledge. So I would like to just learn everything I can from him, and I expect also to make friends from there with different experiences and different backgrounds, different countries as well. I know they have a lot of international students. I haven't seen any from Peru, but I know it's a big international university. But yeah, that's mostly what I
Okay.
expect. Mhm.
Tell me, Isabella, according to you, why has Duke selected you? What is the reason? What for which reason, according to you, have they given you an offer?
Hmm. Um, why they select? Well, it's a good question. I think that I could show that I was eager to learn a lot. I also have like good academic background, and I did have that job in Oxapampa that was related to the environment in a way. So I think that that was a little different for them as well, because I'm sure they get a lot of students that have like more corporate backgrounds or consultant backgrounds or more experience for that matter. But I think that um, maybe I stood out a little because my experience was different. I worked
Mm.
in the jungle in Peru, which is very random. Yeah, in the middle of the jungle in Peru in a small lodge. And then, yeah, I think also the essays demonstrated that I was very eager to learn and that I was prepared to take the masters on and excel at it as well.
Okay. And tell me, you mentioned that there was a 15-minute interview. Can you mention what this interview was like?
Yeah, it was mostly lady to wanted to know if I could speak English properly and well. But she also asked me why did I want to study environmental management? Um, why did I chose Duke? And then a little bit about my background, like where had I worked, about my family, the place I lived, because it's so far away from everyone. Um, so um, yeah, she mostly asked me. It was a friendly conversation, and mostly asked me about my background, my country, and the reasons I wanted to study this in Duke.
Okay. What final pieces of advice do you want to give to our students, to people who want to apply to master in environmental management or masters in general? What piece of advice would you give?
Mhm.
Starting early, applying the application, financing the program, getting in contact with the target schools. What would you say
Sure.
to sum up?
Um, the first thing that helped me was like be organized.
Mm.
I have a lot of lists, make a lot of lists, what needs to be done for
Mm.
this, what needs to be done for that. Um, just keep everything organized and your deadlines clear. Have
Mm.
them in your mind because the deadlines you only get one. And then I would say to go for it with every possibility to go for it and really put effort in the essays because that's the most important thing after the scores, of course, which I didn't have to do. Um, but I saw my brother and his wife applied to an MBA and they didn't need a GMAT. So I saw them apply themselves for almost a year studying for the GMAT, which for my brother it's saying a lot because he never studied that hard. So it was really important. Um, it was really important for them. So they put all the effort that they could on it. And I agree with that. I try to put all my effort in writing my essays, writing help uh, asking for the recommendations and working on my resume, which I got a lot of help from you guys because I was a little lost. I didn't know a lot of things. And I had never applied for a master's and the the United States academically is very different from Peru. Um, so I would recommend to first be really organized really organized with your deadlines and your tasks ahead. And then to just go for it full force. For example, I wasn't thinking about applying to Yale because I didn't think I would get in, which I didn't, but I say go for it because maybe you would, and maybe you have something special on your profile that they will like. Like, don't think that you won't get in. Like, if you put all the effort that you can, and you could. And that's what I thought about Lund as well. I didn't think I would get in, and I did. But yeah, I recommend that. Don't think negatively before you do it. Like, try.
Yes, and you're a good example that that it can work. Huh? You agree? So you're a good example that it can work. So, and thank you very much, Isabela. It was very nice. When are you going to America? Next month? When are you flying to America to start your studies?
Yes, I'm starting by the end of August. So I'm going beginning of August just to get acclimated to the town and everything.
Okay, so I'm sure that you'll have a great time there. Okay, and
Thank
you very much, Isabela, for your time. And it was nice to have you, and I hope that you still keep us updated. Thank you, Isabela.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.